G'day guys, Colour from Go Travel in the garage with the Raptor. Today we're going to be making some custom mudguards. Why are we doing this? It's a couple of reasons. The main one, I found myself having some trouble with the law. Uh-oh. I got pulled over by Highway Patrol and they were adamant that the wheels stick out of the guards. Now, as anyone with a Raptor knows, yeah, the sidewall does, but the biggest problem is because the body is so tapered, because the guards are so pumped, is that when Highway Patrol look at it, by rights, you do have all this tyre sticking out of the guard. So with the front mud flaps on, obviously not that noticeable, but the front mud flaps do actually foul on tyres. I probably could push the caster forward to clear the front mud flaps, but this doesn't fix my problem of the back. What I've found is that I've constantly got, when it rains, I've constantly got road grime and shit flicking all over the car. In my fashion, I thought, let's have a go at this, make something and see if I can take the attention away from the Raptor. I scoured the internet high and low, found a few things that were close to what I wanted, but nothing that was quite right. I had this idea that I would just buy a hard plastic sheeting and then I'd cut in some guards where I could flex it and mold it and make it work for the guards. Ultimately, I ended up at Bunnings buying the P-plater flare kit. So we'll see if we can make this work, because garden edging on a new four-wheel drive, it's really an old GQ Patrol thing, but let's see if we can trim a couple of pieces and make it pretty enough that it doesn't look out of place on the wrap. I thought I'd be able to buy a sheet of this high-density polyethylene. Anyway, the more I looked, the harder it was to find, and then I realised I could just buy it in garden edging. So 2mm thick, 100mm wide. The only good thing about garden edging, UV stable, so it shouldn't fade. It should just hold its colour. Ultimately, this stuff does get hard and brittle over time, but for the sake of $40 for 10 metres, I'm tipping I probably need about a metre of it. Let's see how this goes. This might be great, might be terrible. One of the good things about garden edging is it's always in a roll. It's got this natural arc on it, which then naturally means that it's curved, so it actually wants to sit in the wheel arch right. So what I've done is I've just, be hard to see, but I've just marked the corners so we can cut a nice arc around all the corners. Before we get too far, I just want to show you when I was standing beside my car trying to justify the wheel offset. Very hard thing to justify when that's what you're looking at. So the front and the back, whilst you can see the tops of the tyres are in the guards, the bottoms are most definitely not. Like, we are a whole tread block outside. I just marked out a rough length I needed, and then I used a Red Bull can to get the arc of the corners. And then I've just cut the corners with an oscillator and sanded the edges to make it smooth. So if we get that to sit, I don't know, something like that. So with the fronts, I kind of want it to sit a little bit lower so it doesn't flick stuff on the side steps. It shouldn't be too bad actually. And we should be able to use all the mounting for the original mud flaps. Now I've got my 4 little templates cut out. So what we're going to do is put a bit of 240 grit sandpaper, and we're just going to clean the edges up and smooth them up a little bit, make them a little bit more prettier than what they are. So I know what you're thinking, why wouldn't you just use the factory mud guards? Like, they're actually not a bad design. They sit quite well, they look quite good, they actually square up that body arch. But the problem is that I've got is this inside edge of the tyre contacted in there, and that's why we've trimmed and cleared all that back. Theoretically, you could just cut that block out and it'd be the same thing. And it'd probably work just as well, because you'd still get all the clearance you need. But because I'm doing the stripping at the back as well, I want it to look the same front and rear. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the mudguard to actually mark out the holes and get the mounting location of the stripping. So now with my marks, which are a little bit hard to see in this light, I'm going to use a step bit. So the first one I'm going to step out at the top to 10mm. So that'll be all but exact to the size of the factory plug. And then the rest of them I'll step out to 12mm, which will give me slight adjustment in them. Now we're going to have some holes. Let's put the grommets in. And a little bit of arc. See we'll all line up. Beautiful. there we have it. The front's done. The bottom of that's probably out a bit more than what I would have liked, but that's fine. It still covers the tyre. For the back, because there's no mounting points, I'm literally just going to use 3 tech screws, because this weighs a whole of 100 grams. You see, that's what we start with. Get it lined up. There we have it. Our P-plater fix. You can adjust it out more if you wanted to, but really, I don't think we're going to have a problem from here. Simple, easy, didn't take long. That should keep the law happy. It actually doesn't look that bad. Come up all right. For the sake of 40 bucks in an hour worth of my time, you can't go wrong. What I'd love to know though, is there any better option out there? Because I searched high and low to try and find something so I didn't have to build these myself. And I also really didn't want to use garden edging like a P-plater, but here we are. Now I know, of course, the obvious answer to is there any better option is don't change it, don't modify it. That's just not who I am. So anyway, if there's a better option to cover your tyres, love to hear it. Love to see what's out there. Feel free, comment below. Doesn't look ridiculous. I'll tell you, it is weird looking in the mirrors and seeing mud flaps and not tyre. I understand why the copper wasn't happy with me. This is the finished product. It actually doesn't look that bad, to be honest. So you can see, really, there's nothing to it. This is what I should have done to bolt them in. Heaps easier to get access. If you're really precious about the guard screws, you could paint them black, but for the sake of 3 guard screws, who cares? Okay, so that gives you a better view of using factory mounting points. So very slim line, just simple as, cost next to nothing. Perfect fix, really. Well, that's a wrap. All done, all fixed. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, and until next time, go travel.